Hey guys, welcome to AlltimeGaming. I'm Jamie.
And I'm Chris, and Jonesy is dead. Yes, that's right. The world is a dangerous place, full of nastiness, bitterness, hatred.
Keemstar?
No. Stop that. No one needs Keemstar. But I know what you mean. Everyone seems to be out for themselves. You cannot trust anyone.
I definitely don't trust you.
Yeah, well, you can go fuck yourself. You can't even trust yourself anymore if these games are anything to go by.
You're right, Chris. In fact, I can count 6 times that we've been fooled into trusting our heroes, only for them to be revealed as villains all along.
Okay, for all of you that get pissy with spoilers, just know that some stuff might get, spoiled. Right, so kicking off this list is a classic from the distant year of 2003.
It's the year I was born.
Hell yeah. I can't do maths, but you're young. Well, one of the best Star Wars games ever, and practically the only thing to tide fans of the franchise over during those dark times. Knights of the Old Republic introduced a generation to just how fantastic BioWare could be. While the gameplay, voice acting, and artwork were all impressive, it was the narrative where BioWare naturally shines. You play unnamed amnesiac douchebag number 483 as you attempt to stop not Darth Vader from launching a devastating Sith assault on the known galaxy. As you progress through the story, parts of your past are slowly pieced together to reveal that you're actually a Sith Lord.
The destiny is yours, Revan, not mine. You are Darth Revan.
You are Darth Revan, to be precise, the former master of the main villain of the game, Darth Malak. From there, you effectively have a choice: reject your past self and venture out to defeat your former apprentice, or, and we know everyone did this, embrace who you once were, striking down Darth Malak and assuming control of the Sith forces! Yes!
Is that kind of lose-lose?
Well, it depends. If you're a dark dude, that's win-win. By this point, you've sunk a lot of time gathering a party and hunting down the source of evil, and it turns out that you're even worse. Of course, there are compelling reasons to join either side. The Sith are evil, yes, but black is very slimming, and red lightsabers are just, inherently cool. In an era where major plot twists and player narrative choices were rarities, this sudden development was groundbreaking. Maybe it was because of this dramatic emotional reveal that KOTOR has frequently appeared on the lists of many top games.
Speaking of emotions, it's time for everyone's favourite emotional Frenchman, David...
Zidane.
No, he was very emotional. Not quite as emotional as David Cage and his study in masochism and non-erotic sex, Heavy Rain.
Ooh, great
Although,
game.
technically, Fahrenheit was also a weird study in masochism and non-erotic sex. In fact, every David Cage game has been a weird study of masochism and non-erotic sex.
Yeah, I can't wait to play an android in Detroit and have, non-erotic masochistic sex.
It's $50. I don't kiss and I don't do any weird shit.
Fine by me.
The game follows several protagonists as they attempt to catch the origami killer before he murders yet another child. Among these characters is Scott Shelby, former policeman and private eye who has been hired to find the dastardly serial killer before he strikes again. Only that may prove a little difficult, as Scott is the origami killer, driven to kill by an abusive father and dead brother. The reasoning behind the murders is a little vague and batshit insane, but then again, you don't earn a title like the origami killer by being boring and rational. The reveal of Shelby as the villain, while gaining praise, also received criticism from a number of players for the way in which his behaviour in the controllable sections appeared at odds with the non-playable sections.
Yeah, I can see that. Yeah, fair enough.
Here was a man who was deranged enough to persecute fathers for nothing more than the act of fatherhood, yet when he's investigating his own crimes, there doesn't appear to be any tell at all. It gave the impression to certain gamers that David Cage had pulled a fast one. Not so much misdirecting the gamer, but pulling the old switcheroo on them.
The switcheroo.
Who is the villain? It was the hero all along. Didn't you notice when didn't you notice? That's what David Cage was saying to us. Still, the game sold very well on the PS3, so, what do I know?
Okay, in 2008, a few years before Heavy Rain, Braid was the indie darling that sparked an explosion in independent game development in the late 2000s, which has continued to this day. Of course, not all of it has had the subtle and engaging art style or simple yet addictive game mechanics of Braid. But still, Braid was one of those game titles that you just couldn't ignore. A large part of this was the narrative, which weaved contemplations of protagonist Tim's motivation with accepted gaming conventions. The developer, Jonathan Blow, jokes, wanted to tell a story of desire and redemption that had the player considering Tim's place in the universe. For the most part, however, everyone was just enjoying the tale of a small chubby guy using platforming to rescue a princess. So in Braid, you jump and time bend your way to the end and you see the princess. Victory is at hand. So wait, why is she still running away from us? I mean, for fuck's sakes, we're here to rescue you! You're not though, are you? You never were. The final level has everything moved backwards in time except for you, revealing how the princess was stalked by Tim and how she attempted to get away before being rescued by a knight. She wasn't working with you, she was trying to stop you. You are the villain, the monster she was running away from before being truly rescued.
To some, Bioshock Infinite is an in-depth examination of self-determinism, multi-universe theory, and the effects of objectivism and exceptionalism on an idealistic society. To others, it's an opportunity to throw birds at people. Both have their appeals, of course, but it's the ending of Bioshock Infinite that concerns us.
I'm dreadfully concerned here.
I'm
so concerned.
I can tell by your brow. As Booker DeWitt, veteran of Wounded Knee, you've escorted Elizabeth Comstock through Columbia, battling zealous revolutionaries, sky racists, and mechanical patriots.
Ah, yes.
Oh, and these fuckers too. Finally, though, you've tracked down the architect of this nightmare, Zachary Hale Comstock, and you push forward to confront the maniac in his own chapel. Here's where things get ever so slightly weird, though.
Twilight Zone.
Due to the events of Wounded Knee, DeWitt became depressed and riddled with guilt. Here, different DeWitts diverged from the path. Some accepted baptism and became religious fanatics. Some, including the Booker DeWitt we play as, refused and sunk into such a deep depression that he sold his own daughter to settle his debts. That daughter is Elizabeth, brought into this reality by Comstock, the religious nutjob that DeWitt turned into in this reality.
So we're talking about multiple realities.
We're talking about multiple universes with their own realities.
Anything is possible.
And in this reality, that's right, you've been fighting yourself the entire time.
It sounds like masturbation.
Hope you feel happy with yourself, because it appears that neither version of your personality is likeable. Was the ending to Bioshock Infinite worthwhile though? For a lot of people, the jury is still out, but let us know what you think in the comments below.
Well, Jamie, long before Ken Levine was messing around with a bottle of ether and a copy of Atlas Shrugged, Konami released Silent Hill 2, a charming story of a sleepy American town that is trying to win the regional flower show. No, hold on. Wrong game. Actually, it's a twisted and tortured hellscape where James Sunderland has to evade faceless nurses and this fucking monstrosity over here, all to try and find his supposedly dead wife. And it's made very clear that the villain of Silent Hill 2 is the town itself, which, when shrouded by thick fog, creates an atmosphere of claustrophobia and dread that obviously adds to the psychological horror aspect of the game. So, how can James be a villain? Well, because all of Silent Hill is a physical manifestation of James's guilt and sexual wants during his poor wife's illness. So in a similar way to how Bioshock Infinite has you fight an evil manifestation of yourself, Silent Hill 2 has you literally fight yourself. Your wants, your desires, your needs, your shame, your id.
Id.
The game developer, yeah, exactly. You're having to fight some very human issues such as self-loathing and guilt, but in a physical manner. In every sense, you are your very own worst enemy. Pyramid Head represents James's desire to be punished for his base urges, while the nurses represent his desire to, just fuck anything that moves, really. That is, so long as you get the right ending. I mean, we've all seen the dog ending, and quite frankly, I have about as much of a clue about what the fuck is going on there as you do.
Okay, Chris, this last one is going to prove controversial, but please just hear me out.
All right, okay, I'm all ears.
I've got some kind of explanation for it.
All right.
The Last of Us was amazing in so many ways.
Okay.
The narrative was fantastic, the AI wasn't completely useless, the inventiveness and art design of the clickers was genuinely scary.
Yeah, on board so far.
However, to my mind, Joel doesn't come across as a hero. He may have sparks of heroism, but I don't think he's a hero.
What the fuck are you talking about? He saves Ellie.
Okay, well, let's briefly run over his resume. It's implied that he's murdered, double-crossed, cheated, and tortured several people, but this isn't even the main reason why Joel can be regarded by some as a villain. Now, it was fairly obvious why Ellie was being taken to Salt Lake City. You don't escort the only immune human around for a social call.
Okay.
Joel knew this, and knew the fate of the human race could very well rest on this girl.
Yeah, okay.
They've stopped looking for a cure. I'm taking us home.
So, instead of sacrificing his paternal instincts for the greater good, instead of believing that humanity could recover from the mess that got his actual daughter killed, he tortures a guard, shoots a woman in the face, murders his way through a shit ton of people, and brutalizes the surgical staff, which in itself is pretty bad because I can only imagine how awful adequate medical training is in this new world. He then leaves with Ellie, abandoning one of the best opportunities for a cure that there is in the whole world. He's effectively dooming the entire world to more clickers, more factional infighting, more brutal behaviour. Maybe I'm just not responding to the emotional weight of their relationship, but damn, I mean, you've just condemned a lot of people for a girl you've known for less than a year.
Well, guys, that was our 6 heroes that were secretly villains. Do you agree or disagree? What about that kind of corker that Jamie had there? Expecting a lot of hate from Ellie and Joel fans on this one.
Well, either way, leave a comment down below and give us a like and subscribe for our troubles.
And of course, from villainous heroes to heroic villains. Check out our video here on 6 villains that were better than the hero.